Okay, everybody, here we are, man. We're back again. We are continuing our look at the BBC sessions, Led Zeppelin. And yeah, man, really, really nice positive feedback coming from a number of you about the chronology, the succession, and where my reactions should be relative to the BBC sessions along within the live content of Led Zeppelin. So thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that very much, man. So what we're going to do here, just like last reaction, is I'm going to do the next three in succession, and those songs being Dazed and Confused, followed by The Girl I Love, She Got Long Black Wavy Hair, and then followed by What Is and What Should Never Be. Yeah, man, these BBC sessions, man, wow, really capturing the rawness, the grittiness of young, hungry Led Zeppelin. And, you know, like, go back in time, and if you're just chilling, you're an artist, you're a journalist, you're a whatever, some sort of a media person around rock and roll, and these dudes just come screaming in. You know, could you imagine the reaction? It would have been cool to be there back then and to witness them just coming in for the first time. All right, man, let's hit this up. And again, thank you to Jeffrey Davis for putting this all together for me, man. A nice track that I can run on and bite off in bits and pieces. So that's excellent. All right, let's hit it up, man. Starting with Dazed and Confused. Okay. So last one, I was trying to kind of space them out and see if I can do anything to help us get onto YouTube. No such luck, so let's just do it the way we normally would. All right, man. Dazed and Confused, BBC sessions. Let's get it.
Not true. Wanted a woman, never bargained for you. Sweet little baby, say what you will. Your tongue wags so much when I send you the bill. Sweet little baby, baby, then you take it away. I wanna love you, baby, but you do me so bad. The worst little woman I most ever had. I gotta put you back. My, my, my. My, my, my.
You know what slays me about Plant? It's how this dude can interchange his lyrics. So many blues passages just flowing through his damn head. Power.
I've been dazed and confused so long it's not true. Why did I vomit? I never bargained for you. Sweet little baby, say what you will. Don't like so much when you end up in hell. It's gonna burn, yes, but oh, my, my, my.
He also makes up his own verbiage sometimes. Your tongue wags so much when I send you to her.
Ooh, God, I love
bass groove. With all that's going on in this damn song. It's John Paul Jones in this tune. That was a funky jam, man.
And if I say to you tomorrow, take my hand, child, come with me. It's to a castle I will take you, where what's to be, they say, will be. I got the wind, the sea has been sailed away, leave the day way up high in the sky. But the wind won't blow, I really shouldn't go, only goes to tell that you will be mine by taking our time. So if you say to me tomorrow, oh, what fun it all would be, then what's to stop us, pretty baby? But what is and what should never be? I catch the wind, the sea has been sailed away, leave the day way up high in the sky. But the wind won't blow, I really shouldn't know, only goes to show that you will be mine by taking our time.
How old were they here, man? 20?
Wake up with the sunrise, and all your dreams are still as new, and happiness is what you need so bad. Girl, it's lies with you, yeah. That's the wind, sea has been sailed away, leave the day way up high in the sky. But the wind won't blow, really shouldn't go, only goes to show that you will be mine by taking our time.
Love the song. All right, man. That is the next installment of the BBC sessions. And as many of you are saying to me, yes, man, absolutely a necessary inclusion in my walk with Led Zeppelin, especially where I'm going into the live segment of things. Absolutely necessary, and I get you, man. I get you. This takes me back in time. I'm going back in time and I'm actually visualizing, not just visualizing, but kind of getting the feel of the mood, the atmosphere of what it was before Zeppelin came, right when Zeppelin came, and then the impression that they made. Come on, man. You think of this shit. You've got this incredible banshee wailing singer who's got this really, really cool otherworldly voice that you can't really compare anyone else to. You got that, and then you've got a combination of these fantastic musicians, all in their own right, standing out. They are masterful superstars in their own right. And this is the wondrous thing about Led Zeppelin, man. You put these guys together, this shit is unfair. It really is. It's really unfair to ever compare anyone else to them. It's just not doing anybody else justice to compare them to these guys. I'm not gonna say that they're the best ever, ever, ever. You'll never hear that shit come out of my mouth. But what I am saying is, it's unfair to compare anyone else to them. Compare to the time that they came in, their influence. And I don't care if you're a Rolling Stone or somebody else that just for some irrational, stupid ass reason hates Led Zeppelin. Even my dumbass friends, my friends who are just so devoted to the R&B, the hip hop, the raps, the this, the this, the this. Check this shit out. If you hang around me long enough, as my friends do, and you hear traces of things, because what I do is at the end of my cycle, at the end of the week, what I do is I go back and all of the reactions that I've done, now it's my time to take it in again. Now it's my time to review it, to filter it. Now I've got the lyrics up and stuff. And so that is the last element of my week. Usually it's on a Sunday when I have a day off, where I really soak it in. There's the first impressions during the reaction, and then there's the cementing element. And I like to reconnect and cement everything. I don't forget it. It isn't just some passing reaction where I'm like, yo, that was dope, see you next time. No, man, I don't do that shit. I cement it with these steps, and my friends are around, and they can't help but notice. And if you sit long enough and you hear one or two tracks from Led Zeppelin, you can't deny that they're great, and you will discover in yourself that you are actually formulating an acquired taste for them. And before you know it, whether you want to admit it or not, even the staunchest R&B hip hop fan who swears off that that's music for white people, that's white people music, and to hell with you, because you know that you're a fan, you know that you're a closet fan, you don't want to admit it. You're out in a club when we're having our little dance parties and stuff like that, and you are just dancing and shaking your ass to Puff Daddy's Come With Me. Guess what? That's Led Zeppelin you're shaking your ass to. That is Kashmir that you're shaking your ass to. Having this grand old time. And here you are on the other side of things saying, yeah, they all right. Don't know why you react to white people music, and then you say some stupid. I'm talking to my friends now. So my point is this. The wonder of Led Zeppelin is the fusion of these four forces, and it's not a fair level playing field to compare them to anything else or to anyone else. I'm not saying that they are the absolute best. What I am saying is that it doesn't do anyone justice to compare anyone else to them. It's unfair. That's my point. And the wonder of them, again, is the coming together of these four magnificent musicians. You know, so tailored, so crafted. It's like a pair of twins, or in this case, a quad, you know, being born, all being cut from the same essence. And you put these guys together, and this is the shit. I'm telling you, if you're sitting there for the very first time, for example, and you're hearing the BBC sessions, well, what's going on in your mind? Even if you are somebody who has had a musical background and all of this sort of thing, you are going to notice these guys. You're going to know right away that these guys are different. Now, I don't know if you're going to know right away that they're special, but you're going to know right away that they're different. And I don't care what genre you come from, man. You got to give it up to these guys. They just could not be denied. The talent that they had could not be denied. And you know what? I take myself back to my first impression of Led Zeppelin. You know, my very first impression of them was hearing rock and roll, and then Black Dog, Stairway to Heaven, of course, and then the Immigrant Song. And I thought, well, that was it. They've already shot I'm not going to use Navy terms, but that's the best that they can offer. And that's probably the best from them that I've heard. So I went into my first, into Led Zeppelin, into my reaction channel with this idea in my mind about Led Zeppelin. Not being aware, so green, so ignorant. It was unbelievable and so apparent. Go back to Since I've Been Loving You. That's my very first Led Zeppelin reaction. And yo, man. Do you know when your head gets blown and every single thing that you assumed about someone or about something, in this case about a musical group, is just so limited, and you realize, I heard that and I realized how limited I was, how unknowledgeable I was. And then I had these follow-up comments coming in. They're like, yo, man, you're only aware of Black Dog Rock and Roll and Immigrant Song and Stairway to Heaven? That is it for Led Zeppelin? That's all you're aware of? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh man, dude, check this out. And that's when I realized a couple of weeks later that I was really falling into a really deep rabbit hole, not realizing just 6 months later that my subscriber base, I was in my mind's eye seeing 10,000 subscribers, and that was my goal. And and I was thinking I would reach that in about maybe a year. I reached that shit in 6 months. So half of my subscriber base is due to Led Zeppelin, the Led Zeppelin factor, I call it. So this BBC sessions, it's taken me back in time. Taken me back not only to the first time that I really kind of became woke about Led Zeppelin with my first reaction, but going back in time and putting myself in the mind of the atmosphere, the people who were back then, checking out music, reviewing music. They might have been musicians as well, and just trying to get the first impression of, man, who are these guys? Where did they come from? This incredible sound they're dropping. How does this sound get created? What's the essence and the element of this sound? And, as a musical person, you're probably studying what makes these guys so profound. And you focus on Jones, then you focus on Bonham. And then there's Page there, and then that fusion. You realize that it's the fusion of the four. And then you realize that if you take out one of those elements, it's like a delicate chemical fusion. You take out one element of that, and now it's like a flat pancake. I used a metaphor before about trying to make donuts and not making sure that the baking powder is in. Could you imagine trying to make donuts without the baking powder, right? It's the same thing with Led Zeppelin. You take out one element in the form of one of these guys, and then they are no longer an elemental entity. They're no longer a force. They're just a really, really good band. You know, you need all four to create Led Zeppelin. You know what I'm saying? So that is what I've learned in my last 2 years of having this channel and following Led Zeppelin. And of course, I'm a fan now. I'm not a fanatical, crazy fan, but what I am is I am a very, very appreciative, analytical fan. I like to break shit open. I like to analyze. I like to study the mind of the people who like Led Zeppelin. That's why I ask so many questions. That's why it was very important for me to connect to the subscriber base, especially when I was going through things. I've told you the shit so many times about having that run-in with my buddy's mom and how she was so judgmental and the fire and brimstone judgment from a so-called Christian standpoint. And, you know, so it was really, really great to be able to hold my my anger and keep it contained, and then just kind of release it with you. So this was my Misty Mountain Hop reaction. That's my second most viewed Led Zeppelin reaction. Led Zeppelin actually tops out the top 15 of most views. And since I've been loving you is number one, Misty Mountain Hop is number two. In Misty Mountain Hop, I channeled all of my anger and everything out, and I shared it with you guys. So it was a very, very positive outlet. And the responses that I got back were really, really excellent. So I realized that with this channel, and especially through the funnel of Led Zeppelin, there's a really, really cool, great community created there. And so yeah, I just want to give a shout out and thanks to all of you for being there for me, because it's not just experiencing the sound of Led Zeppelin. I realize through the channel and everything, there's also discovery and growth, you know. So I've grown quite a lot. And so even on the periphery, you know, some of my friends who are not, they would never do what I do or whatever it is, they've now formulated an appreciation for it. At first when I said that, hey, I'm going to explore classic rock and this is how I'm going to do it, there's this great platform on YouTube where I can actually do a reaction and a review type of thing. I don't have to be this educated critic or anything like that. You know, I don't have to have eloquence. I don't have to have this poetic vocabulary or anything. I'm just a guy liking something and telling you how I like it, why I like it, and that sort of thing. And there's enough people who's going to appreciate my point of view. Some will come back and say, well, I see your point, but you got to check out this point. You might be missing this, or you're wrong. Do a little bit more research, and this is where you look. You know, stuff. You know, so a really nice community of exchange. And when I announced this to my buddies, they looked at me and they're like, "What the hell are you doing that shit for? You know, you're black. You know, and stuff like that." That's what I got. They're not saying any of that now. None of them. They're all fans, whether they admit it or they're not, or they don't. So, the BBC sessions, man, I am really stoked to be here at this point, at this stage in my walk. Imagine that shit 3 years later, or 2 years later, going into year 3, I'm still here. The channel is still here, you know, because I was expecting, you know, that hammer could fall. That guillotine could fall at any moment. You know, I mean, thankfully there's people who allow us to use their content and whatnot. But I mean, you are messing with other people's intellectual property, and they're graceful enough to allow you to use it and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, I didn't expect to be here this long, so I'm really stoked to be here at this point in my Led Zeppelin journey and my walk, doing the live stuff and checking out stuff like the BBC. That was a goal from a long time ago when I became aware of the BBC sessions. So I said, more than likely, man, after I finish the studio stuff, if I ever get that far, how cool would it be to get now into their live stuff, because it's a different dimension of the rabbit hole. So you kind of forecast and you see, months and a year or two in advance, but then that you're actually here, that we're actually here, I'm actually here now, that shit is really cool. That's my point. So man, what I'm gonna do is of course I'm gonna continue in the next couple of days. And yeah, if you're confused about what I'm doing with my Led Zeppelin reactions, I've been really busy in life lately, and so I'm just going to jump on it whenever I can. So Led Zeppelin content is going to be coming at you more so every other couple of days. It's the best way that I can do it, whenever I can do it, because if I just sit and wait for one weekend after another, things might interrupt that flow. So don't be surprised if you see one reaction one day and then the next day you've got another one, but you might not have another reaction for at least a week or so. It's just because of the choppiness of my life, but I will be at least consistently dropping some Led Zeppelin content weekly. It's just a matter of when I can do it, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening with me. So man, the BBC sessions. Focusing on the BBC sessions for a sec, I wonder why we're not hearing a crowd, an audience. And here's my question again about the BBC sessions. The BBC sessions, even though it's considered to be live, who are they actually playing for? Was it set up where, okay, we want the viewing public to get an impression of you, so let's set up kind of like a live setting, but there's really no audience in a sense, and you're just basically playing, we're recording, and now we're mass broadcasting and everybody's getting an impression of you? Or was there actually an audience, and the audience sound is just filtered out? Or maybe there was an audience there, but the audience were told to not react, be quiet because we're recording. What happened there? What's the atmosphere of the BBC? Are they in just some big session studio environment where they're basically just performing and it's being recorded? So I'm not seeing that. I'm not getting that. Like all I get from Wikipedia, let me read this to you. BBC Sessions is a compilation album featuring studio sessions and a live concert recorded by English rock group Led Zeppelin for the BBC. Released on the 11th of November in 97, this one consists of materials from 4 different BBC sessions. So I'm guessing that this is just in-studio stuff. And this too contains most of the 1st of April 71 concert from the Paris Theatre in London. So I'm hoping that this too will have more of a crowd presence, and you actually get the impression that it is live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just assuming, unless somebody corrects me, that these BBC sessions, disc 1, basically they were just in the studio, just doing their thing, and there might have been an audience there, but they were very quiet, or there was no audience at all. Fill that in for me, will you? Because I'm not seeing it. I can't find any reference to kind of give me more details about it. So because it's just going to help me with the visual. In the BBC sessions, I'm not sure if I should visualize a crowd or not. You know what I mean? So that's basically all that's about. Okay, man. So enough talking. I'm gonna bounce. that is my second installment of the BBC. Love all three of these songs, man. I understand why Dazed and Confused didn't have a long extended guitar solo with Jimmy Page and the bow and everything, mainly because it was probably, TV friendly, and or they just needed to scalp it down to get as much in there as possible. And they knew from the onset that it wouldn't really be heavily relied upon the video element of things, because when Page is performing his guitar solo, like in the song Remains the Same for Dazed and Confused, he was very interactive with the crowd with the bow, and doing these things, so I don't imagine that there's probably a lot of necessity for all of that. That's what I'm assuming. That's probably why Dazed and Confused was only 6 minutes and 39 seconds. But let me know if you have another spin on it. And if I'm way off, man, don't come at me hard, by the way. Some people, especially one guy, holy shit, came at me so hard. Do your research, man, in bold. Stop spewing all of this garbage and this and this and this and this. Dude, a part of my research is asking questions from my subscribers. What the hell is the use of having 20,000 subscribers? You're just going to sit and watch me? No. Answer some of my damn questions. So part of my research is asking you questions. Do your research. I'm not some professional damn journalist and shit. I am just a guy who likes music, sharing my Led Zeppelin walk with you. So don't come at me like that, dude, right? I am inquiring as to how, when, why, filling in those blanks in my head. A part of my research, actually, I would say 75% of my research is asking my subscribers questions, because I'm learning more from my subscribers than I'm learning from reading stuff. Yeah, I mean, it basically just gives me parameters, and it's kind of setting up the question for me, enabling me to ask more detailed questions. So when I ask questions, or when I'm guesstimating, I could be off. So if I'm off, just say, yo, you're a little bit off, man. This is where it's at. Don't shit on me just because I don't have all of my facts. It's a part of my doing research. So yeah, dude, whoever you are, I forgot your damn name. You need to check yourself, especially where reaction channels are concerned. We're not pros, we're not experts. If you know more than me, then offer me a little bit of guidance. Don't shit all over me, all right? You, dude. All right. So, I can't wait to finish this off. I'm not gonna race and run through it, but I definitely want to be very diligent and steal every single second that I have. But speaking of time, I don't have any more, man. I gotta go. I gotta get to work. But listen, thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening to my rambling. It is the rambling of a Led Zeppelin fan. I'm not a fanatical fan, but I really appreciate what they're about. And I enjoy the process of dissecting why. You can say, Wayne, you like Led Zeppelin. Why is that? And I'll say, sit your ass down. Let me break it down. I can do that. You know why? Because I ask you questions. And now I am armed with all kinds of great answers. When some of my friends challenge me, oh yeah, why are they so elemental? Why were they so influential in the 70s, comparing it to the Beatles being so influential in the 60s? Why? And I am armed when somebody like Maggie Clark comes at me. That's my buddy's mom, the chick that was just judgmental, from a Christian point of view. She's using Christian and all of this bullshit. When she's judgmental like that, trying to shame me because I like rock and roll, and now I'm armed, right? So that's why I ask you questions. That's why I encourage feedback. You got some shit to teach me? Teach me, because what you're also doing is you're arming me. You know what I'm saying? So now, if somebody approaches me like Maggie again, I know how to answer. I know how to defend. I know how to promote. You know what I'm saying? So that comes from my Led Zeppelin walk. And you guys are taking that walk with me and you're leading me, which is really, really cool. I wouldn't have been able to get this far if I didn't have a community giving me feedback and saying, hey, yo, it's absolutely essential, Wayne, that you include the BBC sessions in this walk. You know, I know that it's not video, but it's so elemental in the formation. You know, it's a part of the pillar of it. You have to include it. This is the kind of exchange that I get and that I appreciate, you know, because it's guidance. You know, if I was just going off on my own, you know, could you imagine how lost I would be? You know, I mean, this is a big ass maze, classic rock. So it's great that I have some people helping to navigate. Anyway, I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Thank you very much. I'm going to bounce because I'm really late, man. Holy. So, in another day or two, I would say before the weekend is out, I will probably get to the next installment of this great walk with the BBC. I'm looking forward to it. So you guys have yourselves a good one. Be safe, take care, and I'll catch you in the next Led Zeppelin reaction. Peace.